the Ghost in the studio. The Ghost who's about to take on a big fight of his life. Sammy Goodman. Welcome to the Run Home with Joel and Fletch.
Thanks for having us here, brothers. Thank you.
Go on you, Sammy. Now, you're looking quite fit. Look, last time I saw you, you were a little bit, porky.
Was he?
Yeah, I was eating a bit more before last time, so I was enjoying myself, indulging a little bit after one of my fights. But I've been trimmed for a while. I've been following my nutrition plan diligently and just sticking to that. It's it's all been about the work lately.
Now, this is a big fight. Like, obviously, quite the understatement saying it's the biggest fight of your life.
Who's he fighting, Brian?
He's fighting Inoue, but
Inoue,
a.k.a. the Monster.
Yeah.
I'm not fighting anyone called the Monster.
But the Ghost is taking on the Monster.
The Ghost is the Monster. Tell us a little bit about this, like, because this bloke's legit, like, undefeated, 29. Has he had like 26 knockouts?
Yeah, he's one of the superstars of boxing, and he's pound for pound. He's your 1, 2, or 3. So it really comes down to preference. You got Usyk, you got Inoue, and you got Terence Crawford. So out of those three, it's who you fancy. And
it's quite unusual. You're going to go over to Tokyo and fight Christmas Eve.
Yeah, they like doing a show like towards the end of the year. So last year was Boxing Day. This year Christmas Eve. So, man, I get to upset Christmas for them all.
Yeah, the Grinch.
Yeah.
Not the Ghost, the Grinch.
Yeah,
that's what you need to call yourself.
Goodman.
We're here with the Grinch, of course, Sammy Goodman, but Naoya Inoue, and you mentioned those names. So one of only 3 male boxers in history, along with Crawford, who you mentioned, Usyk, and now, of course, Inoue. But you're about to be the Grinch and spoil the party. Tell us, please, Sammy Goodman, representing the great country, 196 countries in the world, from Australia, Sammy Slammin' the Ghost Goodman. Why are we going to beat this bloke?
Because I'm the best boxer in the division, plain and simple.
Yes,
I'm the best
Sammy.
guy. So, look, I back my skills and I back what I can do. So I don't think he's fought anyone like me. Yes, he's a great fighter, and I've got to be on my game to beat this guy. But people like building these guys up into superstars and thinking they're all this and that. Look, I back my skills, I back what I can do, and I'm going to go over there and beat him. He can be hurt, he can bleed, and look, I'm going to do a job on him.
Okay, so if you beat him, not if, when you beat him, what's the next step? So if that happens, you knock off Inoue. What would be the natural next progression? For those who don't follow boxing as closely as we do, what would be that next step?
I'll give him the rematch at Wynn Stadium down in Wollongong, but I'm on his cash, he's on mine. So that's the plan.
The Ghost.
So I'm on the big papers, and he can take the
the Ghost with the most, Brian.
So, were you always going to be a boxer? I know that you like played a little bit of rugby league, but is it in the family boxing, or was it something you just picked up as a young fella?
Not really. My cousin boxed a bit, but it was just, to be honest, I was into me WWE.
Yeah.
And I was playing footy, and
that's not real, right?
What number on your back?
I was 9.
Rugby league's not real.
So I wanted to get into wrestling. My dad's like, mate, it's Olympic style wrestling. You're not going to be jumping off ropes, doing all that. And I was like, righto, mate. I'm jumping off a freaking rope.
Yeah.
This and that. Didn't believe him. And anyways, I dislocated my elbow playing footy. And after that, my dad just goes, why don't you go down to the boxing gym, give that a try. Your cousin does it. And I was like, righto. So done that. Had my first spar after about a week and just loved it.
Yeah.
Never looked back, really.
Am I right in saying, as we talk about your old man, Stevie Goodman, am I right in saying that he's one of Albion Park, Oak Flats, one of the greats down there? Is that true, Stevie Goodman?
He'll probably tell you that.
What number did he wear number 9 as well, Stevie?
9, and he played a bit of lock or back row, I think.
Yeah.
He was before my time. He finished up by the time I was born. But he's
who's down there? Joshy White. Is he the coach?
Yeah, Josh White's coaching at the moment.
Joshy White was down there.
Is he?
Yeah.
One of the greats.
He was one of the greats.
MAD.
It was a good afternoon.
Yeah,
there's some wild dudes in there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, had plenty of good nights down the clubhouse. But they're few and far between at the moment.
When did you have your first stink that wasn't a family member? We've all fought our brothers, or when was your first stink?
Oh, I was a rat bag of a kid.
But did you know you were pretty good at it?
I probably always thought I was better than what I was when I was growing up. Well, I wasn't a talented kid at it. Or I just had a massimassive go. And once I started working with my coach who I've got now, like I realised there was a big gap, like skill gap that I had to close. And just I kept at it, kept consistent. Like I remember him telling me when I would have been about 12 or 13. He goes, every 6 months, someone who you're mates with or you know that boxers, they're going to walk away from the sport.
Yeah.
And it was just like whether it's only for a break and then they come back and they find it hard to pick back up again or they give it away every 6 months. And it was one of the most true things I've ever been told. And it always stuck with me not to have breaks, not to have, time off training, and I've always kept in the gym, my whole life since then, and it's just staying that consistent. I think's got me to where it has. I've seen so many people that growing up that I was fighting, and then they drift off, they try and come back, and by the time they come back, you're going through them.
So this bloke we're going to fight, this Inoue character, have you had to change a little bit the way you train in lieu of this bloke, or because you were saying you had to you had to upskill a little bit? This camp that you're doing, is it just going to be focused on getting skills to fight this certain bloke, this Inoue, or is every camp the same?
No, it's definitely not the same, but the workload, I'd say, everything that I'm doing now it's just so. I'm just doing a lot more of what I was doing, but just doing it. I've always worked hard, always gave it all in my gym, but my workload has gone absolutely through the roof. I'm pushing myself to exhaustion each and every day. Like yesterday, I started the day at 5 a.m. I was still in the gym at 6:30, so at night. So it's long days. There was 4 sessions yesterday, and that's sort of like what a day looks like for me at the moment. It's just all about training and getting a bit of recovery in, then back in the gym the next day. So it's that's all my life is, and that's all that matters at the moment.
Yeah.
Sammy, we have been talking about Inoue, but let's talk about you. 19 and duck egg. 19 and egg of the duck. WBO world number 1, IBF world number 1. In your 19 and duck egg, is there a fighter who most probably replicates Inoue that you can sort of think back to, or?
Not really, not probably my fights, but I could look at a bit of my sparring, and you get certain looks, or you face guys that are definitely they carry a lot of power like he does, and stuff like that. But it's, to be honest, everyone's got their own style, their own way of going about things, and present different challenges. And this is no different. He's a very good fighter, yes, but there's looks we're getting through camp that are trying to emulate him. Obviously, he's one of the best in the world, so you're not getting a completely exact replica, but look, it's he won't be getting the exact same look off any guys he's sparring of me.
And what he won't get in the studio now, ready to pounce next, is one of not Australia's greatest, world greatest, Ricky Ponting. So when we break, you're going to have about 5 or 10 minutes on your own with Ricky Ponting. He's a world champion. World champion. You think about India, we spoke yesterday about some of their followers, and Rohit Sharma's got about 90 million followers. That's how big the sport is. You're going to have 10 minutes with Ricky Ponting. If there's one thing you could ask Ricky Ponting in the private time that you'll have in between your chat and when we catch up with Ricky Ponting after 5:30, what would that be?
Mate, I don't know. I'd have a lot of questions for him. I grew up, that was my era of, sort of watching cricket. I was a very average cricketer, to be honest, back in my day. I loved watching Gilly, and found out pretty quick I couldn't hit the ball like him. But, like same with punter. Like, mate, they're just legends of Australian sport.
But you're that close to doing this.
His brain. Yeah.
You're one fight away from being...
100%. No, I will be there, no doubt. I've got no doubt in my mind that I'll be there, and I'll cement my place in history.
Do you think their camp, Inoue's camps, underestimated you, or was it mandatory that he has to fight you?
It was mandated that he had to fight me, but I think there's definitely people in his camp that they're already planning ahead. They're looking at his next move, and there's a lot of talk about that. So, but I don't really concern myself with any of that talk. As soon as I beat him, they're going to change all their plans. They're going to come over here. How
much video do you watch on him? Is there a lot going on? I've always wondered, because when you're playing footy, certain coaches will make you watch hours and hours of certain players, and sometimes it's their habits that you pick up on. But when you're watching a fight, what are you looking for him?
I think it's important to watch a bit, not go over it too much where it's messing with your head, but it's you and your team should sit down, and you like to go through a few things that you think you can execute and a few things you can capitalise on, and then other things that maybe you got to be aware of, and things that they do well. So there's a bit of both from that side, but I don't try and get too into it. I don't watch him every night before I go to bed and think about that. I try and worry about myself and what I got to do to best prepare me for a fight.
What's one punch that's just going to drop him? What's your favourite punch to land?
I'd love a left hook on him.
Yeah.
Just ice him with a left hook would be beautiful.
Right in the Chevy Chase or on the ribs or something?
No, I'd want to chin him out cold in front of all the Japanese.
In Tokyo.
20,000
Just say sayonara to him as you stand there in front of him like that.
100%. Drop the mouth guard on him.
So, Sammy, as Brian mentioned, it is Christmas Eve. The Grinch turns up, the ghost. Go out in the Grinchy outfit and
And
just spoil the
I'm
party.
Santa Claus for me. I'm
Yeah.
coming back with all the straps, so
Yeah.
I get to be my own Santa. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be a bit different. You know, we've got a heap of people coming over for Christmas and spending Christmas away. So that's pretty cool. That fills me with a lot of pride, and you know, to take a good chunk of us over there over Christmas time, that's awesome.
Have you been to Japan?
I went over to watch one of his fights. We're only over there for about 4 or 5 days, and just to get a feel of what the fights sort of look like over there, and just purely scout him out.
Just add this to the itinerary. Win the fight on Christmas Eve. Party for a week, and then the head of the bear is going to turn up.
I'll be there. I'll be there New Year's Eve.
Yeah, 100%. I think we got barley booked, so I'll fly over.
I was asking you before, just off air, about your diet and stuff. How important? Obviously, it's very important. What about off the drink? Is it something that will you have a beer when you win on Christmas Eve? Will you have a beer afterwards?
Yeah, I won't just have one. I'll have two.
Can you after a fight? Like when you've on a serious question, when you've been it's a brutal tax. When you've been really taken to the cleaners, but won the fight or lost the fight, do you still want to have a few? Like, is it hard to get up for that, or are you absolutely gonskis?
Nah, you are pretty goners, but you just got that much pressure from everyone around you. So usually now I like to take a couple hours to myself afterwards, and then one thing leads to another. You end up freaking out with the boys or whatever after a fight if you feel okay. But it's
How long does it take to recover? So you've had the big night out with the boys or girls,
from the fight or
with the lot,
both,
the lot. Like
a solid week easily if you've had a big night. Like it knocks you. That's the thing. You're not on the drink for so long, and I have 2 beers, I'm smashed. So it knocks you about. But no, we have a good crack usually as long as I'm feeling all right. But the boys will make up for it if I don't. So
Sammy, what's up for grabs? 4 belts?
4 belts.
Wow.
So we'll be having a few after we win these. Like we win these, I'll be feeling good. Don't worry about that.
And what weight do you have to come in at?
I'll have to come in at 122 pounds.
Which is in kilos?
55.3.
50. And what are you today?
About 63.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's what I'll get in the ring at.
Yeah.
Is he much the same?
I wouldn't have a clue.
No.
But he's come up from lighter division, so he's already unified at bantamweight and a few other divisions before that. So he's a smaller body again. But so that's where I think I'll be able to impose myself physically on him. Like everyone goes on about his punch power and that, but physical strength and punch power, they're 2 different things. And I really think I'm going to be able to impose myself on him.
Before we call you 4-belt Goodman,
4-belt ghost.
As the fan, like when you're a fan, what's your sport? Who are you cheering on?
I've got to say I love my league. So the Dragons were in a bit of a
rebuilding phase.
Yeah, rebuilding. The soccer, I'd follow Manchester United, and then obviously the cricket, Australia.
So you're down that way, and the Volk's down that way as well.
Yeah.
Have you had much?
And the Volk, of
have you had
course,
much to do with the Volk?
Little bit.
Yeah.
So he was a massive supporter before my last fight, and the things he's done for MMA and just promoting it down our area, and not just down our area, the country. Like he's one of our best ever, and if anyone deserves the keys to the city, it should be him. So
and you.
Pardon? I'll be up next.
Well, you'll get the back door key.
I'll be in line. Key. So,
Sammy, what song are you walking out to? Have you got one, or you change it?
Yeah, I've kept it the same. So all the carry on, all the chant that comes from the same song. I've wanted to change it, but it's just stuck now.
Yeah.
So I can't really flick it on. So it's our 7 Nation Army.
Right.
So that's where all the chants started from.
Yeah.
Started from a few of the boys on the drink when I was an amateur. So, and then since then it's just kicked off.
Joel and I have played team sports our whole life, and going into a ring, I could only imagine. We used to spar, and I used to hate it. What is the feeling like? Are you excited?
I loved it,
Are
Sammy.
you nervous? What's the feeling like when you're just walking up those stairs about to jump into the ring for you?
I think it feels a lot more normal now for me. As a kid and starting out, it was definitely something that was way more daunting. And you're not thinking about any of the crowd or anything like that. It was just purely about the pressure on the result.
Right.
That was the thing I used to really struggle with as a kid. More
living up to the expectations
of
others?
just the expectations I'll put on myself.
Okay.
So, and but as you get a bit more experienced and you keep at it longer, you just get more confidence in what you're doing and you just back yourself. It's like another game of footy.
Yeah.
Brian, I can feel it. Like one thing my dad says, Sam, I'm not talented like you, but he says I can read people. I'm a reader.
He's a very good reader.
I'm a reader.
Very
If you
good
know a
reader.
reader, you're a reader. We're staring at a champion. We're staring at a champion here. 4-belt Goodman.
Undisputed.
Undisputed.
Let's
Do you
go.
like that?
100%. That's what
4-belt undisputed Goodman. We like that, don't we?
That's what I've dreamt of since I was a kid. So this is what I've been in it for. And look, I wouldn't do it if I didn't think I could, and I wouldn't have started the journey if I didn't think I
Yeah.
could. I've been telling everyone since day dot, since I got in this, that I wouldn't need to work a real job. I'll be doing this. I'll be
Hey,
champion of the
4-belt.
world.
Look at this, right? So,
So-
let's just have a look. Inoue, belts are going away. Our man 4-belt Goodman's coming to take him. Ta-da, Tatiana Western Webb. Bye-bye.
4 belts in and away.
That's it.
Now you've got a sleeve tattoo for our listeners that don't have the YouTube. You've got a sleeve on there. Will you get a tattoo when you get the 4 belts? Will you get something to resemble some boxing sort of?
Oh, no, none of them really have meaning,
No.
to be honest.
You got the is that like the Egyptian? Is that the Sphinx?
That's meant to be a Viking. That's a lion. Like
you got
I
nothing to do
got
with
mixed it. Nah, not really. I thought they looked
Just
cool
get
at
the
the
Japanese
time.
flag.
Some you regret, some you don't. But
Japanese flag's going to go right there.
the only ones I've probably got that mean anything, I've got under 10s and 12s premiers on my arse. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Do you
Yeah,
score in those?
Pardon? Nah,
No.
Don't tell them you got them when you
Slow
were 10.
hooker. But I
Didn't
tell
you-
people I got them when I was 10 and 12.
Maybe we should get Hindmeister to do something. Like
There's a bloke out there waving to you, Ricky Ponting. He wants to have a chat to you because 4-belts Goodman's on his way. Ricky Ponting's on the way here on the run home with Joel and Fletch. But before we go to the break, Sammy,